going on, guys? Happy Monday. We're going to do ourselves a little Pokemon Monday market update. Not to be confused with the Pokemon Market Monday update. It's not what we're doing, all right? So, hope everyone had a good weekend. I was out of town duck hunting. Also caught the John Jones fight, so I basically am running on zero right now. I hope you watched the John Jones fight and not the Mike Tyson Jake Paul one, because my goodness. So what are we going to talk about today? Four main things I want to talk about on this beautiful Monday. I want to talk about buying value, like undervalued stuff, not crappy stuff, right? We're going to talk about the Japan product, Japanese product over English product, the video I made before this. And then we're talking about Surging Sparks, almost $200 a box. It might be. I haven't checked it this morning. It was at like $197 when I looked last time. And then we're going to talk about the future. So, first thing I want to talk about when I say finding undervalue and not crap. I think some people may be confused a lot of times, especially watching some videos, mine and others, where they can't afford booster boxes or they can't, whatever. They're like, what can I find? Where can I get a deal for $15? You know, what can I do with my $5 or some nonsense, right? And so people like me, I'm coming out and I'm saying, hey, look for the undervalued stuff. Find the stuff that should be valuable. And I think they take that as like, oh, hey, there's these trick or treat trade, whatever things. They're $1 a pack. That's super cheap. I'm going all in on trick or trade because it's so cheap. It's gotta be, right? No, it's like, no, these will never be worth anything, right? They have a certain purpose. It's basically like giving out crack for Christmas or Halloween. And that's their point. They will never be worth really anything in investing. But you have some people who, when they watch a video of me being like, find the value, like find the undervaluable stuff, they're like, oh, $1 a pack or some nonsense, 90 cents a pack. It can't get any cheaper than that, right? It's got to go up. No, it's just, those are literally worthless. So again, find the value, the stuff that should be valuable, that actually does have value, that maybe the market just isn't paying attention to right now, because there's other stuff that is, you know, obviously everyone's like Surging Sparks, right? You know, English product. And that's kind of what brings me in then to the, let's talk about my previous video, right, with the Japanese. And something I read and I've been seeing a lot was that people were talking about you're wrong because Japanese people are the people who are exporting the Japanese product to us are now wanting to import the English product to sell in Japan because of how hot English is right now. And they're saying because of that, like wrong, like that means like Japanese product is dead. And I kind of I agree with that, right? So then that means if it's dead, it's probably like the lowest it's ever gonna get, right? And my thing is if those people who are exporting Japanese to us are now wanting to import English because Japanese isn't worth their time or money to export to us anymore, well then doesn't that mean that eventually, like, the whole reason like Japanese is this cheap is because they were just exporting it at such bulk, like just how it works, right? Like if you know anything, like the more you can ship, the cheaper you can get per box, right? So if these people aren't finding it in their value to ship Japanese product anymore, in my mind, again, this is me just guessing. I'm not going in 100% to Japanese. This is not me saying that Japanese is the greatest thing ever. This is just the logic that's in my mind as to why I'm going to dabble in it a little bit. If they no longer find it valuable for them to ship it here, I feel like that's something we learned quickly during, a few years back with supply chains, where the second that supply chain ends, you can see prices just astronomically kind of skyrocket. Now, again, I'm going to balance myself here with that. As someone who invests heavily in modern, the reason I do is because I feel that the main component to what drives price in collectibles is not the rarity or the scarcity, but is the demand to supply ratio. And with just insane demand, you can just reach these crazy numbers even with modern product, right? Like we're seeing it today with the $500, $700 Pikachu, right? So while yes, my theory about the shipping and Japanese product no longer being worth being sent here, even if let's say we can get these boxes at the cheapest they'll ever be, will the demand ever be there to drive them back up to high prices? And again, I think that's where, when I talk about Japanese boxes, I specifically target ones that have high value English cards that then people could default to when they're too price, right? Like I'm not saying go get Japanese boxes that have like just no hits in them and they're like wife, like I'm saying go like again Crimson Haze, any of these ones that actually have, or like whatever Japanese set has the Moonbryon, right? I think that's where again the value is, right? So loved all the responses. I just something I wanted to put out there. I'm still like I feel pretty strong about my thoughts on Japanese product. Again, this would only ever be maybe 10% of my total like sealed, like of sealed product, 10% of it Japanese at most. But other than that, oh, shout out to Pokey Innie for commenting on it. That was cool. He's got Japanese products, so if you guys need to go buy some, go get it from him. Now, Surging Sparks. It was at 197 last time I checked. I think cases are around 1,000. I know they're over 900. I think they've sold for around 1,000 now. Would I sell if you got cases for like 600, 650? If you had 10 cases and you wanted to sell 2 of them for 1,000, I wouldn't blame you. That's probably what I would do. If I don't have 10 cases, I only have like a case and a half, so I'm not selling anything. But if you had 10 cases, or if you had 5 cases and you wanted to sell 1, I wouldn't blame you. I think that'd be totally fair for you to do that, but I wouldn't sell more than that. I would hold on to it. I think it's a good long-term hold, but I wouldn't blame you at all for selling it at 1,000 a case right now, because I think, and I could be completely wrong, and I don't think this will be till next year, but I think we'll see it come down to maybe like 750, 800 a case once they kind of get it under control later next year. But then at the same time, it could hit like 1,200 a case during Christmas, right? If they don't get stuff out. So, but right now, I wouldn't blame you for at least just getting rid of like a little bit. But I wouldn't sell more than like 10, 20% of what you have. Now, people thinking it's going to be a bubble, it's going to pop. It will be interesting to see when the EV stuff comes out. I don't know when that is, if that's like in December or early next year. I think it's in December. But we'll see how that does. I don't know if that's going to cannibalize into Surging Spark. Do we think that Pikachu is going to go below 500? I could see it going down to 400, 450. I don't think it'll drop below 400. The Pikachu, I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it'll go below 400. Maybe like 375. The future's looking bright, as PBD would say. If you don't watch it, maybe go just watch that the morning news. I know there's he used to be in MLMs and stuff, but he's a good guy now. So what else? There's not much, guys. Again, this is what I would say. Find the value. Don't really sell anything right now unless like you've got a lot of it and you want to kind of just dollar cost average. There's some stuff, but I wouldn't sell most of it. I would just hold and buy. I wouldn't buy any inflated assets. Don't get crazy. Don't be buying anything you shouldn't be. And I think that's what happens, right? Last little tangent here. I think during bull markets like this, when people see people who have, a lot of stuff and it's going up a lot in value, they want to just rip in. They just want to jump in and somehow achieve that. And they don't realize that like people like me and that, like we were buying booster boxes over the last 3-4 years while everyone was telling us like we were idiots, right? And then when it jumps up and everyone's, oh, now I want to, you know what I mean? They want to get in, and it's like they don't realize that like this has been like 3 and 4 years. I mean, some people way more, right? But for me, right, like this wasn't just like a look, oh, I just happened to buy all this stuff last week and then it went up. Like, no, I was buying this the last like 3.5, 4 years, listening to like nonsense and stuff like that, and still like, staying the course. And, that's how you get here. So I appreciate it, guys. If you're still here, we're like 15 people away from 500 subscribers. So, subscribe, why not, right? Have a good one, guys.